QuadLock or Rokform? Arguably two of the most popular phone mounts for motorcycles, but which one is best for you? Well, stick around and I'll weigh out the pros and cons of each.
Welcome back, guys and gals. So today we are comparing the two most popular phone mounts for motorcycles. I've got the Rokform handlebar mount hooked up today, and I also have had the pleasure of using the QuadLock fork stem mount for about a year or so before on my CBR 500R. But on this particular bike, I don't really like rocking a phone mount because, as you guys can see, there's not really anything protecting my phone. So God forbid if a tire gator or something throws up in my face and I get hit or my phone gets hit, I don't want to have to replace my phone. I would just rather keep it safe. That's why I normally either keep it in this little bag if I need my navigation, or I'll just throw my AirPods in and put my phone in my pocket. So on a normal basis, I do not actually use a phone mount, but since I've had the amazing privilege of using both mounts, I thought I'd make this video for you guys. It would be pretty helpful. And I also want to say up front, I am not sponsored by either of these brands. Rokform actually sent me this mount for free, which I really appreciate, but this is going to be my honest opinion on both mounts, so just keep that in mind. But let's get into it. So to kick things off, the prices of these mounts are actually quite different. So if you're balling on a budget, I would probably guess you're going to want to go with the QuadLock. That one ranges, in terms of the mount you want to get, it ranges from I think $30 to around $60 for this same handlebar mount, whereas the Rokform ranges from $50 to, this handlebar mount is $120, and that doesn't include the cases, the accessories like the vibration dampeners, which I highly recommend, although I don't have it on this one, but I'm just repping it for the day to show you guys kind of how it works. So in terms of price, the Rokform is quite a bit more expensive, but in return, I think the case has a few more features. It has the magnetic safety. It's like an added safety benefit, and I can kind of show you guys afterwards a quick video. But it's kind of like the twist lock to hold the phone in place, and then it has a magnet on the mount and on the phone case as an extra security benefit, whereas the QuadLock is just the twist and lock mechanism. And the Rokform is also made out of high strength aluminum, is what I think it said on their website. So it's an all metal piece, whereas the QuadLock is made out of some durable plastic. And I gotta say, I've never had an issue with the QuadLock. I live in Arizona, so the sun is just beating down on everything all the time, and if it was some cheap plastic, the plastic would definitely deteriorate over time. And I rep that phone case, or that phone mount, and the QuadLock case for just about a year, and I never had any issues. It still looks brand new in the original condition. So it just depends on, one, your price, I think, and two, the looks. Like, the looks of the Rokform mount look really solid with the polished aluminum. They have two different colors, the black one, which I've got on here, and then they make like a bright silver one, which depending on the bike you have, you can pick which one. So Rokform has their two color options. QuadLock has its one color option, but you can replace the little thumb tab to release your phone, and they have blue, which is the standard one, or you can pay an extra like $10 for red. I think you can get black, and there might be a few other colors, so you have a few options at least. Now let's get into how the mounting mechanisms work with the phone case, and both are very similar. And if I had to choose one based off of using both, I would be picking the QuadLock, although I do think the Rokform mount is just the tiniest bit more secure with that added magnet security benefit, but it makes it super finicky for the twist and lock method. As far as putting the phone on, I have had one hell of a time. I don't know if it's just because I haven't used it that much. I'm sure that's part of it, but it is not the easiest thing in the world to get that phone on there. But I would assume once it's on there, it is securely snug. But like I said, I never had any security issues with the QuadLock. I was very skeptical at first, and after, you know, a few times of riding, like, I never really had to think twice about looking down to make sure my phone was still there. So here's a quick little example of how the phone mount works. You can see it's kind of strong on there, which is actually obviously a good thing. But the mount fits right into these 4 little pins, and then you twist it on. Pretty straightforward. You can see the magnet. I don't even have to twist and lock anything. The magnet holds it on right there. But to get it on there secure, you kind of have to find those holes and then put it right on there. That actually went on pretty easy. So I don't think it's the end of the world. But the magnet is actually kind of a cool feature. I just don't really have that many uses for it, you know. Like, you could stick it on surfaces, it sticks to the tank like that. But I just don't have the most use for it. But here's the mount. You can see it's like the black finished aluminum. Everything looks really solid. The QuadLock also, I think, looks really solid. The sun never faded any of the plastic. It all still looks brand new. So in terms of fit and finish, I think it just comes down to how much you're willing to spend and what you're looking for. If you need that extra security benefit, I do think the magnet is actually a very smart option. I think I'm getting the hang of putting this thing on here, actually. But I don't know if the magnet would interfere with the phone. You know, we always grew up, don't put magnets on your computer, blah, blah, blah. So at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't really use the phone mounts that much, so it all comes down to personal preference. I actually want to make one last point here while I'm stopped and show you the back of the phone. So both the Rokform and the QuadLock cases have this little dig out right here so that you can mount it to the mounts. Now, in terms of the QuadLock case, it's all integrated on the back of the case. So I have like the little finger loop thingy that folds out. You can like sit the phone down and have it stand up at an angle. Whereas this Rokform case, from what I understand, I don't have any of the accessories, but it comes with a little hole plug to fill this. You have to take the case off to put that plug back in, whereas on the QuadLock case, you can take your phone off. It's all integrated on the back of the case. You can just slip that finger loop thing back in and you're good to go. You don't have to take the phone case on and off. I know that's kind of like a small detail, but in terms of simplicity, in terms of, you know, just not having to take the case on and off all the time, that's kind of another reason why I would be going with the QuadLock. So assuming you have your mind made up about which case you want, I do want to say both mechanisms for installation were very straightforward. The fork stem mount was very easy to install, the handlebar mount was very easy to install, and the QuadLock handlebar mount is the same. I would be assuming that the fork stem mount for Rokform is the same. It really only takes a few minutes. I had to adjust some things here on the handlebars to get it to slide over into the right position. And if I had to get a new mount from either company for this specific bike, I would get the ball head mount. One, it's cheapest, and two, it would be the easiest to move around and get in the right position if you need to, whereas this mount specifically is kind of more permanent in regards to the ball head mount, where I could just throw a clamp on the handlebars really quick. I could take it on and off super easy. Obviously I can take this mount off, but it is kind of more set in place. You know, you kind of have to have, I think it's a 5mm Allen key. You have to take it on, you have to take it off. I had to adjust the positioning of the electrical housing and the clutch over here, so do keep that in mind. I think if you are looking for something more permanent, you can get the handlebar mount or the perch mount or the fork stem mount, but in my particular situation, I'm not looking for something permanent. Like I said, I don't really use a phone mount all the time, so that's just my particular opinion. Boy, the weather out here in Arizona is just about fantastic. The mornings are like 70, 75 degrees. Starts to warm up in the afternoon, of course, but we are so close to that prime time weather all day long. The only downside is it gets dark so early, the sun comes up so late, so the amount of time you have to go riding is like heavily diminished. All right, my beautiful people, well, that is gonna wrap up this video. I really have no negative things to say about either case. I think they are both fantastic in their own way. They both have cool designs and will get the job done when it comes down to holding your phone on your motorcycle. So don't get caught up in all the hoopla. Buy the phone case or the phone mount that you like the best. Buy the one that you can afford, and I think you'll be happy. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. Drop a big thumbs up, it really does help the algorithm, and subscribe for future videos. We are on the road to 2,000 subs, so make sure you're subscribed. But for now, we're saying peace out.